Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing out there? Can everybody hear me okay? All right. Hi, viewers at home. Thanks. Welcome to the 2018 Brattleboro Community Television Producer Awards Party. That's your applause sign for this evening. When you see me do this, feel free to join in and applaud with me. My name is Chris Lenoir. I'm the board president for Brattleboro Community Television. Happy to be here and happy to see you all here. I do want to acknowledge the other board members who are here, and I think most of them are here at this point, but if everybody could just kind of wave as I say your name here. And I was going to do this in a specific order, but then Cor gave me her script, which deviates a little bit from my script. But we do have Vice President Alex Beck right there. And we have our treasurer, Jim Berzino, somewhere beyond this really bright light. There he is. I know our secretary, Pauline Dean, has been greeting you all in the front. And Marty Cohn, who needs no introduction, is floating around here somewhere. He's the best dressed man of the evening. There he is. All right. Jesse Kreitzer, a member of our board, will be joining us later. He's also a member of the Marlboro Select Board, and for some reason he thought governance was more important. But I think we all do as well, so we'll all get to meet Jesse in a little bit. Two newcomers to the board, and neither of them are here right now, but want to just acknowledge them joining. Oh, okay. Leah McGrath Goodman making an entrance, everybody. Thank you, Leah. And also Bob Gammon, newcomer to the board. Happy to have him here. And a new board member, but kind of not really a new board member because she actually is a board member who predates all of us, but happy to have her back on, Lynn Barrett. Thank you, Lynn, for rejoining the board here. Of course, we're here to honor the producers, the people who bring all the great content to channels 8 and 10 on Brattleboro Community Television. But I do want to just acknowledge the BCTV staff in the offices because they do a lot of hard work to make all the content look great on the two channels as well as on the web. I know we have Vlasta Popelka up front there, the operations manager. Big round of applause for Vlasta. Nolan Edgar over there taking pictures for everybody, the content manager. The rookie on the block, Brian Bayshaw, here, the production manager. And of course, the executive director, Cor Trowbridge. All right. And one last note, I just want to extend a special thanks to the outreach committee, Alex Beck and Marty Cohn, for all their hard work on planning this event. And without further ado, I will welcome Cor Trowbridge to the stage to begin the festivities. Thank you.
Okay, it's so great to see everybody here tonight. Let me just say, it's so exciting for us to look back at the year and see what we've done and who's done a whole bunch of stuff, but it's most exciting to get the energy in the room from people who appreciate all that our volunteers do. So I'm thrilled to see the room this full. There are a whole bunch of seats down here in front that are open if anybody wants to come and take them. And the way this night is going to work is I'm going to give a little state of the station report, which is kind of a report on the trends of the last year, a few highs and lows. And then I'm going to turn it over to the board to hand out each award. And awardees will come up and we'll go over the process. But anyway, so this is me giving the state of the station report. And one of the main things that happened this year is that we had some big staff changes. And this was the staff photo taken in July 2017, where you can see Jeff and Roland are still on staff. And a year later, thanks to my GoPro, it looks a little warped. Sorry about that, guys. But in that one 12-month period, our production manager, Roland Boyden, moved to Philadelphia, and Jeff Mastriani moved on to Amherst Media. So that's half of our full-time staff changing over, so you can imagine. And I thought, wow, this would be a rebuilding year. But Brian and Nolan have been on and hit the ground running. Brian's already produced 30 episodes of Meet the Candidates since June, which is, I think, a new Vermont record. So I think we're going to be just fine. Sponsors, I want to acknowledge, these are businesses that help us out by underwriting our programming. Brattleboro Savings and Loan underwrites just about everything local that we do. The Brattleboro Food Co-op underwrites all of our municipal programming, and we have Sabine here in the audience. Thank you very much. All of those meetings. First Light provides us with very good internet at an okay price. And Brattleboro Retreat underwrites our staff studio productions. The annual meeting we had last month, I'm just going to do a quick recap because this tells you a little bit about the statistics of what we were aiming to do and what we did do over the year. And when I say over the year, I mean the last fiscal year, which for us is from July to June. And one of our main goals was increased content, and increased awareness and engagement with our content. And the tool that we found to achieve this was Facebook Live. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. And that is, we had Windham County's Got Talent, which was a talent show that the parent company of the Brattleboro Reformer put on in January at the Latches. And they wanted us to put it on Facebook Live. We said, okay, fine. And we got you can see this is the view from being up in the catwalk. And the MC from the crowd, instead of saying, now will everybody please put your cell phone away, he said, I want everybody to take out your cell phone, go to Brattleboro Community TV on Facebook and share this video. And at the end of the event, we had 162 shares and 17,000 views on a talent show. So we were like, wow, this is really great. We tried it again with the Harris Hill Ski Jump, which was another milestone this year, where we partnered with the USA Nordic to live stream both days of that event, which is really a regional event. And we also got a lot of shares and a lot of views on both of those videos, and those were from all over the world. People literally commenting, watching from Guam, watching from Alaska. I love Brattleboro. So the engagement that Facebook allows for really makes a big difference and is a good match for our programming. The final example I'll give is Strolling of the Heifers Parade, where we normally would get 1,000 to 2,000 views on YouTube for that parade live and right afterwards. This year, 227 shares and 14,000 views. So it just shows you what the amplification is there. So we felt good about meeting that goal. The other thing that built awareness this year was winning a Hometown Media Award, which is a national award for overall excellence. And combined with that, getting a front page article in the Reformer. This is an award we've won before, but nobody knew it. So it didn't really count. And also Roland's outreach video that he rolled out at this event last year, surprise, there's a TV station in Brattleboro, also won a national award in the category of about access and empowerment. And this is an award that his video won 4 times while he was at our station. I wanted to show you a quick clip of the videos that we submitted for the award, just to give you an idea of the breadth of content that we are showing and what we are being judged by. Each clip is just 10 seconds long, so it goes pretty fast.
How does it feel now knowing that things are going to be changing soon?
Clay.
Today's poem is by the Vermont resident and poet Galway Cannell, who was born in Providence, Rhode Island in 1927 and lived in Sheffield, Vermont.
Let's talk
about the modification a little bit. When somebody comes in, they've got a tattoo, what should I do with it? Should I laser it off? And then you say...
Yeah, I'd say don't laser it.
So this is a coiling technique where you have a bundle of material and you start wrapping it. Traditional coiled is very regular and very smooth and very even, and it never appealed to me.
How's it going? I am here at the Harris Hill Ski Jump, the 95th edition of this thing. It looks really awesome and packed. I can see, I don't know how many people, maybe 200 people.
In one photo, he looks angry because he could not go to school with his brothers. So they gave him a book.
Act 46 does not allow choice towns like Vernon to be in the same district as non-choice towns like Brattleboro, Dummerston, Guilford, and Putney. Vernon wants to maintain its 50-plus year history of grade 7 through 12 school choice.
Thank you and congratulations, BUHS class of 2017.
What happens in government, like anything else, you start with something, a smaller nucleus, a concept, and then you start building from there and you add ideas on.
That should be two things that we can actually do, right? We should be able to get people the help they need and upgrade the infrastructure so that it's usable for the people.
Are you ready for that vote? If so, all those in favor, please rise. You may be seated. All those opposed, please rise.
So another thing that I noticed when I was going over the stats for the year in the annual report is that we really have a fairly small amount of people doing a lot at this station. Not only do we have our field producers who are here, and just want to quickly name them because a lot in the room. Janice Chalou is here, and M. Richards. Rich Mellinson, right there behind the camera. Frederick Noyes, is he here? No. Esler Oreste here. Austin Rice, and I said M already. Okay, I've got you twice. And they are producing, in terms of staff, producing about 700 hours of that content. But we also have volunteers producing about 500 hours of that content. And we are seeing more views on YouTube, up from 300 views a day last year to 500. Part of that is just we have more videos on YouTube, but part of that is we just have more people coming across our videos, and 200 views a day, staying steady on the website. We also have a new facility software that we just started using that allows us to track how much we're doing. And we've only been using it for 3 months, and we're able to say that we have an average of 9 reservations per day. That means 9 either people editing, using the studio, or checking out gear. So for a small station, that's actually quite a lot. Some of those days it's like 12. Some days it's 4. But this data is going to be useful in helping us tell the story of how we can be a little station that produces so much. And what I wanted to concentrate on for the rest of my time is just talk about a little bit of the people of BCTV. We're going to hear more in depth about our award winners tonight. This is a photo at Roland's farewell party. That is a lot of the people who are in this room as well. And I wanted to just talk about how the people who are doing the bulk of the work to produce that content, and just give you a quick snapshot of those people so you get a sense of people who maybe win an award one year, but then keep on going to produce year after year after year. And in some ways it's really impressive. Any of these producers will tell you it's hard to start a show, but it's exciting. And maybe what's harder still is to continue producing and to keep that energy going. So I'm just going to give you a snapshot of how people work at BCTV. This is our volunteer live event crew, and these people basically operate cameras at events, live events, that the staff is running around, running cables and making sure the internet connection works and all that kind of stuff. Here we are at Harris Hill. We also have a bunch of volunteers who act as hosts, who provide commentary, and who do our news show. And you'll see a lot of those people are in this room as well. And that is for like commentary at live events, like a parade, hosting open studio, interviewing legislators, or hosting sponsored shows like the Retreats show, for instance. And here's Olga Peters doing her news show, and her news show at the same time. And finally, the producers. These are the producers who, we have 50 people who are producing at BCTV during the year, some of them producing 1, 2, 3, 4 shows, but these people are producing, even at a higher level than that, 5, 6, 10, 20, 40, 50, 60 shows during the 1 year. So I just wanted to, I'm going to run through them and just give you a snapshot so you get an idea of who is BCTV. Marty Cohn, who you'll be hearing more about tonight, he started here in 2012, and he also produced another show this year called Healthcare Matters. And he, with Grace Cottage Hospital, and produced 9 episodes of that, and as well as starting the show Rotary Cares this year. Karen Davis does a weekly broadcast of the First Baptist Church. She started in 2013, so she's been doing that for 5 years. Chard Denord, who was one of last year's winners, was new last year, and this year also produced 10 episodes of Poets Speak and 16 episodes of his You Come True poetry reading. And that's self-switched. You can see his, the mouse there on the table. So he's actually switching the cameras himself using that mouse while he is the talent. Jerry Delmonico produced Day Kitchen with Donna, and it happens in Brattleboro. And he also produced the Guilford Community Church. He produced 57 programs last year, and has recently moved back home to be near his family. Maria Dominguez, who everybody knows. Is there any chance she's here? No. Okay. Maria could basically win our Volunteer of the Year award every single year. She produced 50 shows this year. First Wednesday lectures, rallies and protests, author talks, Southern Vermont Dance Fest, concerts. It's great that she was a People's Choice nominee this year with her video of Bernie Sanders' town hall meeting as well. Russ Grabiec was a new producer in 2013, and we'll hear more about him later. He produced 28 shows this year. He favors history and veterans events. George Harvey and Tom Fennell produced Energy Week. They started producing this in 2012, the minute that we changed our studio around to be able to do that self-switching. So Tom, over on the left, no, on the right, is switching with the mouse. George, here somewhere? Yeah. There he is. And I believe that today they recorded their 288th episode. Wow. This is a show, Energy Week, that they produce so reliably every week that all of the stations in Vermont download this show and show it because they know it's good and they know it's going to come out, and they just save a slot. Derek Jordan produces the World Fusion Show. This was last year's series of the year. Derek's right over here. And is a People's Choice nominee with his video that had over 5,000 views. He dropped the first one last July and has been releasing it every 2 weeks. Has released now 31 episodes, is that right? 34 episodes. And I'm going to get this a little bit wrong. It's shown on 39 community TV stations across 16 states.
77 stations.
77 stations in 18 states. And he has more of a professional crew model, where Esler directs, and he has Al Stockwell doing the sound. Jen Latham became active last year. She is an Emmy-winning producer, and she is producing now PSAs for the Brattleboro Conservation Commission and some History of the Latches documentaries. Reggie Martell, he was active with the Brattleboro Historical Society, now is active with Brattleboro Words Project, Turning Point Prevention Coalition, and produced 11 videos this year. Pete Millett became active in about 5 years ago, also recording Calvary Chapel Maple Valley church services, and that's all the way up in Jamaica. And he tapes and edits that each week. And it's great for us because our service territory goes all the way up to Jamaica to have local programming from there. Al New, you'll be hearing more about. He is part of a team of volunteers who've recorded St. Michael's Mass since 2009 and are about to record their 500th episode. And I can tell you that when I go in to check our website stats, the most popular page after the home page is the St. Michael's page. So he's getting it out there. He also does a lot of live music. Wendy O'Connell, her show, Here We Are, is also nominated for a People's Choice Award. And she was brand new last summer. And here she is pictured with her intern, Aiden Meyer, who stepped up to help her direct and get her show going. And she's produced 50 shows in 14 months. Wow. Esler Oreste, yeah, isn't that great? Esler Oreste was Producer of the Year in 2016. He covers everything from rallies and protests, the Root Social Justice Center, Art Story, you name it. Also director of the World Fusion Show, also on staff at BCTV, and produced 13 shows this year for this station. And a great looking profile pic right there. Andy Reichsman last year was here representing Mitchell Giddings Fine Arts Presents, which is art talks. And you saw a clip of that in our awards video. He produced 8 new episodes of that show this year. Kip Tewksbury became active in 2015. He produced 19 shows this year. Theater Adventure Program, Tiny House Fest, concerts, forums. In general, Kip is one of those people when people call the station, say, I would like a volunteer to come. Kip is one of the people who goes. So can't do it without that. And finally, Roland Volbear for the Wyndham World Affairs Council. He learned to produce after a lot of stops and starts. He is also a People's Choice nominee this year with a video over 2,000 views and produced 5 videos this year. So that wraps up my little talk about our MVP, Most Valuable Producers. Every show that anyone makes is valuable, but some people wonder how we get the volume of videos created that we do, and this is how it's done, is a bunch of people doing a lot of work. The other kind of work that happens here at BCTV is board work, and at the annual meeting I gave our Peggy Award for board service to Martin Langveld, who stepped down from the board after 7 years, 6 of those as treasurer, and he brought a lot of really great nonprofit governance experience to the station, and really appreciated that. The last thing I'm going to talk about before turning it over to the awards group is what's going on with Comcast. And a couple of things. I think the last time we were here, we talked about how we were trying to get Comcast through their Certificate of Public Good renewal to have our shows be on the interactive program guide, like all the other shows. So you can DVR it through your cable thing. And the state of Vermont agreed with that, but Comcast, instead of saying, okay, I will do it, they have taken the state to court over that. So that's right now in federal court. At the same time, there's a lot going on at the national level that I'm sure you guys have heard about with the FCC and threatening things in general. And we finally did see a decline in cable revenues for the first time. You can see I put up from 2008 till now, so for the first time since Comcast took over, this is the first year we've seen it, and it was pretty severe, $20,000, less than we anticipated. So if you can donate, the jars are back there. And you know, when you renew your membership, you're really helping support our organization, and the board's going to be working on how we can get through this next period. And thank you very much for your time, and I hope that was interesting. It was really interesting for me to put together. And I'm going to introduce Brian, who is going to show a video that he made trying to tell the story of community media here in Brattleboro.
Give me 1 second here. So this week is Free Speech Week, and it's a national recognized week celebrating free speech. And a part of that is Community Media Day, which is October 20th, so last weekend, but better late than never. So Court tasked me with making a video for that day, kind of celebrating what we do at BCTV, but also what it means to the community and how much of you utilize what we do here. So without further ado, here we go. With all that is happening in the world today, it is easy to think, how can I, being one person, change the outcome for the rest of us? At BCTV, we give you the tools to start small. Small being in this very community. Though it may seem that we are a microcosm of the larger picture, so much is happening right here. This is where people raise families, run businesses. We have a parade for cows and a crazy huge ski jump. More importantly, it is a place we call home. In these times, community media has never been more important. At BCTV, we work endlessly to film that board meeting, help edit that local event, produce that PSA, or maybe it's asking the next governor of Vermont the questions that matter to us. Our goal is to offer you the means to stay tuned into your community, to stay up to date on events happening in our backyard. Community media is programming made for you, by you. And remember, when you think big, you can start here. So that was the premiere of that video. You were the first to see it, so congratulations to you. We will release that publicly tomorrow, so share it if you want. Anyways, I'm gonna hand over to, I believe, Chris. He's gonna start the awards.
Community Partner of the Year, Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation. Of BCTV's 30 active organizational members, BDCC has stood out over the past 2 years because staff members learned how to record videos themselves. Kristen Brooks took the training and recorded 5 BDCC events. Sarah Lang was trained the day before she recorded 2 funding announcements. We always tell people we will train you. Few organizations take advantage of that offer. It's great that BDCC did. They also hired us to cover the 2018 Young Professionals Gala and the 2nd Southern Vermont Economic Development Summit, and they create PSAs promoting workshops and programs. You all know members of the BDCC staff, a lot of familiar faces on Channel 10, frequent presenters at local select board meetings. Accepting the award is their executive director, Adam Grinold. Come on up here, Adam.
BDCC staff and crew took the time to maximize that SEDS plan and stay true to it, and over time deliver the results. So in thinking about this, I felt a little awkward accepting this award in that really felt like we should be giving the award for all of the amazing services that BCTV provides to the region. You know, the access, the technical know-how, and just the passion of each and every one of the individuals at BCTV really resonates for us. And for regional economic development efforts to be successful, we really need an informed and engaged community. And BCTV has really helped us expand our network and communications outside of our normal reach. And when people see the words economic development, it doesn't always resonate. So what's really helpful is when you see a video of an intern working in a local business, perhaps you see a young professional celebrating at the gala. So that's really helped us connect with people, and BCTV has made that possible. BCTV, through those connections, have also helped us inform the community. In this past year, 75% of Windham County residents funded SEVID's municipal requests at town meeting. So for that, this award, thank you, BCTV. Court, you had asked that maybe Sarah say a few words about the production as well?
I did.
Dang it. I was kind of hoping you would forget. Yeah, so one thing that one of many things that BCTV has provided to us is the access to training on how to use the equipment for my program specifically, which I actually work in Bennington and Windham County, so it's a pretty large area. And one of the benefits that BCTV has provided is the training so that I can film the workshops that I do, and so if people are not able to attend the workshops, they're able to view them at a later date, as well as Rich coming to our second Economic Development Summit. You know, people weren't able to make it, they could view that literally the entire day, so thank you, Rich, for that. But it's an invaluable service, and you know, it's literally like a 20-minute training and you're off and can record your own stuff, and it's something you can keep and archive and use at a later date, so it's really useful. Yeah.
Great. Corey would encourage us to treat this like that. Oh yeah, guys. Come on. All right, let's
To present the next award for our municipal partner is our Vice President of our board, Alex Beck.
Thank you. So it's my pleasure to present the Municipal Partner Award for this year, and that goes to a board or a committee that uses BCTV to promote transparency and public engagement in whatever governmental body they're a part of. And this year's award goes to the River Valley's Unified School District Board. The River Valley's Unified School District is a newly created district that followed the unification of Dover and Wardsboro school districts under Act 46. And as many of you know, Act 46 was complicated and emotional and quite a thing that happened to our communities. And in the aftermath, it was great to see a community board take the opportunity to educate. They recorded their bi-monthly meetings, and thanks to their promotional efforts, their meetings had received hundreds of views, and one had over 5,000 views. And for a board meeting, that's good. That's really good. So having those meetings recorded and accessible to people who might not be able to attend in person is really important and great. And accepting the award for the River Valley's Unified School District is Richard Werner. If you're here tonight. No, Laura Sibilia will be accepting the award.
So I wasn't prepared to say anything, but I will say that this, the merger of the Wardsboro and Dover boards has been a very emotional journey. We knew that this would be really monumental changes for our communities, and documenting that process allowing our communities to follow us, even when they weren't able to be at the meetings, was going to be really important. So we're so happy that we did it. Richard was a little slow to convince, but he's absolutely sold on the power of providing this for our citizens. So this has been great for our communities, and thank you.
Okay, I'm Jim Verzino, Treasurer of the Board. The Nonprofit Member Award goes to a nonprofit that actively uses BCTV to promote its mission and activities. And going off script here for just a moment, the two Brattleboro Rotary Clubs are really an unsung hero in this community. They provide tens of thousands of hours of volunteer activities, from everything to helping homelessness to creating all kinds of different activities around town for youth and for adults. And literally tens of thousands of dollars go to scholarships and other nonprofits. So the Rotary clubs really do a lot in this town, and luckily the Marty Cohn, past chair of the Brattleboro Rotary Club, is really doing a lot now to promote Rotary. So Marty, past chair of the Brattleboro Rotary Club, created Rotary Cares last October, and has recorded 10 episodes. In each episode, Marty hosts a Rotary member from both local chapters. We have two, the Sunrise Rotary and they call it just the Rotary Club, but it's at noon if anybody wants to go. Both Rotary clubs are a lot of fun. And Marty hosts the show to talk about local projects and latest activities that are going on for Rotary International. The critical factor for making the show a reality is that another Rotarian, Kevin Yeager, stepped up to fill the role of technical director. When you come to BCTV with an idea for a show, we explain that you have to either learn to self-direct or recruit a technical partner. Staff appreciate that Kevin and Marty are very organized and require minimal assistance. Marty Cross promotes the content by distributing a podcast version of the show. Accepting the award are Marty Cohn and Kevin Yeager.
Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers that come together to make positive, lasting change in communities at home and abroad.
Thank you. So Rotary is something that's been around for over 100 years, and we've been trying to figure out a way to explain to people what the heck we do. And Kevin and I have been talking about this for, I don't know, about 6-7 years. We said, you know what, why don't we put together a show and we'll break down what Rotary does into segments, and we'll get different real Rotarians to tell the story about Rotary. And gosh darn, we started it and it's actually been working. What we've been able to do is have this show not only on BCTV, but because of the thing that Al Gore invented, we put it on the internet and we push it out. And then, old dog learning new tricks, we were able to take the audio portion of the show and turn it into a podcast. And what's happened is we're getting phone calls from Rotary clubs out in South Dakota and California who are able to access the show, and they're actually using a lot of what we're talking about because we're all Rotarians and we all do really good things. The podcast, this is phenomenal to me because it's apparently something that millennials listen to, and we actually are attracting younger members. We had a new member who joined us from Maine who actually heard and listens to the podcast. So gosh darn, it works. So Kevin and I have been doing this now once a month. We get along great. Every decision is really an easy one. The first decision that we made was who was going to be up front and who was going to be behind the camera, and that was pretty an easy decision. But I want to also thank BCTV, who really makes it easy. We go in there, we're prepared. They've got all the equipment, and then Brian puts the finishing touches on it. So it's something that is just so easy to do, and it's also very effective. So on behalf of the Rotary clubs of Brattleboro, thank you very much. And I also would be remiss if I didn't say thank you, Yael. I love you.
And now to present the award for Volunteer of the Year is the wonderful and talented Pauline Dean. Our secretary, by the way, I should have said that.
Hello. The Volunteer of the Year award is given to a volunteer who's gone above and beyond in helping BCTV serve the community. This year, the award goes to Russ Grabiec. Russ joined BCTV 6 years ago and first learned to cover veterans events and concerts at American Legion Post 5. He became one of our key volunteers and responds to requests all over the country. We are constantly asked to send a volunteer or videographer to events and have very few people who can commit to this. Russ is often that person. Some of his regular programs are Veterans Event, the River Garden Brown Bag Lunch Series, Magic with Jonah Kane, and Dover Free Library events. In addition, he operates the camera when needed for studio shots, and starting last year, he volunteered on camera at every Brattleboro Select Board meeting. He also plays a key role in our live production of that important meeting. He recently made the transition from editing on Final Cut to Adobe Premiere. It was tough, but he did it. We could not run BCTV without dedicated volunteers like Russ.
My baby needs an angel, never learned to fly. She'll not reach sanctuary just by looking to the sky. I guess I could have carried her, but I didn't even try. My baby needs an angel.
This is what it's like to be on the other side of that camera. Well, I'm speaking to my friends here who are all compadres in video. I had a speech made out to guide me through the stammering that, hey, oh, it's a microphone. Thank you. Too many things. Hey, that's me. I'm using the old tag. I thought that logo was prettier than the one we have now, but we may evolve to something even better. I'll put it on. As the introduction said, I'm proud of the fact that I've been recording, being on the camera for the this Brattleboro Select Board meetings, and that's an important thing for what I call my posse, my couch potatoes. They're not here tonight. They're at home. How you doing? Let me just read it. I have 2 minutes, I understand. I've attended enough bi-weekly select board meetings to appreciate the democratic governance that results from a dedicated select board, a capable town manager, and a heated public participation, as well as the skilled direction of cameras by Nolan from the control booth upstairs. Thank you, Nolan. Our cameras are recording history. We're recording history tonight, whether you know it or not. Of course, the history of this moment, just as surely as Matthew Brady, Margaret Bork-White, anybody know Caleb Howe? He did local photography 150 years ago. I'm putting myself in stratospheric company to name those names, but we all in our way record history with our digital format, which is what's going on now. We, as a human species, have a need to tell stories and to listen to stories ever since we were gathered around a campfire talking about the hunting the mastodon or whatever, and great fish stories. I facilitate that. I love to listen to somebody's story, and there's a lot of stories going unvideoed out there, and that's why I make sure I can volunteer myself to go out and video who's ever putting on a presentation. As I say, I'm happier behind that camera. But, let me wind this up. I'm a technological dinosaur. Whenever my new friends ask for a copy of their recorded performance, I cavalierly say, I have people for that. Thank you. And that's what Brattleboro Community Television is all about, helping get the word out through the video that we do, as if you didn't know. Just one last thing, let me say, the people out there listening to this, come to Brattleboro Community Television. Record your moment, your story. Learn to edit, that would be helpful. We have people, and it's rewardingly addictive. Thank you.
Hi there, my name's Jesse Kreitzer. I'm a board member at BCTV. Good to see you all. I'm going to be presenting the Producer of the Year Award, and then we'll get to the series. The Producer of the Year Award is given to a community producer for outstanding production work and commitment to BCTV. Al New has been the backbone of the volunteer effort to record BCTV's longest running weekly show, St. Michael's Catholic Mass, since 2009. Back then, a team of volunteers would record the service to a VHS tape, and someone would run it over to BCTV's tape deck to play out on Channel 8 the same day. 9 years and almost 500 episodes later, Al has updated the video equipment at the church several times over, and now edits and uploads services directly to YouTube, along with uploading it to our server for same-day viewing at 2 and 7 p.m. on Sundays. This year, Al brought his love for live local music to BCTV with the new show, 5 Mics Songwriters Series. This series is also on his Southern Vermont's Live Music YouTube channel, but it's well suited for BCTV because the songs are original and it features local musicians. In addition, as a volunteer, Al often runs a camera for the World Fusion Show and covers events when requested. So we want to thank you, Al, on behalf of the board, the staff, everybody at BCTV, and congratulations on being named Producer of the Year.
A tendency to scan through email, so I thought I had 20 minutes, but I reread it fortunately for your sakes, and I have too. So that's, and as Russ sort of suggested, a lot of us are much more comfortable behind the camera than in front of the microphone. But I really want to say I'm honored and really surprised I've been chosen for the award. And Cora, I want to thank you and everyone else at BCT for the support you've given me for my shows over the years. At St. Michael's, our original goal was to allow members of the parish to view the Mass when they're unable to attend weekly Mass. But our parish wanted the Mass to be shown on the same weekend it was recorded, and initially it was a runner. And then when they went digital, that provided a whole other set of challenges, and they could have easily said, well, we just can't do it. But they worked really hard, and we came up with solutions that have changed over the time, but it's an amazing thing.
The hot folder, remember the hot folder?
Oh yeah. So it's just, if it doesn't show due to me, usually we get calls about it, where was the Mass, why didn't it show? And And but over the years, I've often found myself sort of wondering, is anybody really watching it? And is it worth the effort? And I've heard two things that made me realize that that's the case. Our current pastor, Father Justin Baker, was telling a story about a friend of his in Rutland that was incapacitated from a car accident and doesn't get to visit Father now that he's down here. But he told him, I love you used to make me laugh so much, and it's so great that I can watch you on the internet and get to laughing with you again. And then recently, we received a letter from someone, I'm not sure what part of the country, and she wrote in thanking us for the beautiful mass that we put on and sent a donation for the renovations that we're doing to Bridget's kitchen. So those kind of things make it really worthwhile. As to the other side, I've always had a really great love of music. My son was an active musician, and there wasn't really sort of anywhere to find out who's playing where and when, so I started a Facebook page called Southern Vermont Live Music. But BCTV really let me go beyond that and not only just let people know what's happening, but let them see it. And the Five Mic Show, if you're not familiar with it, Jason Skaggs is the organizer. He invites 4 other musicians, and they take turns playing acoustic original music. And if you haven't seen it, it's really an amazing show. Their talent, the songwriting, and it's like playing in someone's living room. People ask questions, and it's the quietest room you've ever heard at a concert. There's this nobody talking, which is my favorite part. And it's and there also ends up being 15 songs, and I'm really as much about the audio as the video, and so I end up spending a lot of time with the audio editing, and I produce all of them as singles so that they can use them for promotional work. And I can't think of a better use of public access television than supporting the local members who are doing such amazing music. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm Marty Cohn, producer of the award-winning Rotary Cares. All right, so the Series of the Year award, which is a great award, I actually won it in 2015, so it's like, is given to the producer of an outstanding series on BCTV. This year, Wendy O'Connell came to BCTV last summer, and she wanted to do a show, but she lived in the area for 40 years. She pretty much knew everybody. She says, there's got to be a way to bring people together and to talk about all the wonderful folks in the area. One barrier for her, she thought, would be the fact that you have to learn how to produce and edit and all that good thing. And fortunately for her, a student intern came by, and Aiden Meyer from BUHS, and lo and behold, Wendy was able to do the show. Her interview technique, if you haven't seen the show, it's really incredible. She interviews people before the show, so she has a kind of sense of where the show is going to go. And then when she starts recording, she already knows the thread of the questions that she's going to ask and kind of the answers that she's going to give. I met with her a few months ago, and she was saying, Marty, is there a way to get more people to watch this show? I'd like more people to watch the show. Well, I don't know. She's produced over 50 shows in 14 months with 55 guests and over 6,000 views. I think she's doing a pretty good job. The show has been picked up by stations throughout Vermont and across the country. It's my pleasure to present the Series of the Year to Wendy O'Connell for Here We Are, Brattleboro's community talk show.
Everyone, welcome to Here We Are, Brattleboro's community weekly talk show.
Here we are.
I got a little transfixed watching all of my friends up there, people who are new friends and old friends. I'm going to put this down. It's been so great to do the show, and I'm so happy to get this award. I really am really happy. It's wonderful. It's really, for me, it's a real testament to what can happen when inspiration and good fortune come together. And I really feel that way. I had this idea, sort of a vague idea of what I wanted to do last summer, and summer 2017. And so I walked into BCTV and I ran it by core. And I said, I'm thinking, maybe like a talk show. I like the idea of a one-on-one kind of thing, like sort of the old-fashioned talk shows we used to watch. But everybody smoked cigarettes, which, I knew wasn't going to fly. And they also had bands, they had Paul Schaffer, which would have been fun to do that kind of thing. But I decided to keep it really simple. And the format, the whole thing developed so quickly. It was really interesting. I walked in and talked to Core, and 5 weeks later we had a show up. And I give a shout out to Stuart McDermott, who was the first to be on the show. And I think he was a perfect choice because he was a piece of cake. Pretty much I said, Stuart, what have you done in the community? And he just took it from there. And a half hour was filled so easily. Anyway, my original idea was really to find a way to bring people together in this community, to hear our stories, to be able to be heard as well, and to bring these individual stories into the community in a way that was fun, that was relaxing, and that really showed the diversity, the incredible diversity that we have here in Brattleboro. We may not have a lot of visible ethnic diversity, but we have a lot of diversity in many other ways. It's really also very fun to see so many people who have been on the show in the audience. I'm not going to point any fingers, but Kira and Becca and Philip and who else? Yeah, I got Philip. Tom Jan was on yesterday. So there's some shows queued up that haven't been shown yet. But yeah, Tom was number 51 show. So anyway, getting this show on the road, so to speak, was so amazing to me. Everything just kind of fell into place, from choosing the name to getting the graphics to the music. Thank you, Billy Strauss and Russ for my intro and outro music, which people have picked up on that and said, hey, your music is really good on that show. So shout out to them. And of course to Roland Boyden, who really got me going and taught me how to, tried very hard to teach me as much as he could, as much as I could absorb about editing in a digital way. I was an assistant film editor back in the 80s, but at that time we had a moviola which was about the size of a small Mini Cooper. And it was completely different kettlefish. So Roland, of course, I say thank you to you. Also, the team, the core team, everybody get that? The core team of BCTV has been the whole thing. It's Core and Blasta and Roland when he was here, and Nolan, who is taking shots tonight, have been just amazing in terms of support and leading the way for me. And also, I have to say, Brian Bashaw, who has taken Roland's place, has been incredible. Brian has just been fabulous. He is so patient, and he has dug me out of so many technical trenches over these last 2 or 3 months.
We saw him digging himself out of it.
Yeah, but he has just been wonderful, and it's been wonderful to have him, and I really appreciate it. Yeah. And so anyway, one of the things that's been great for me over these past 14 months, I've always really, I think we all are aware of public access TV, but public access TV is really, it's a real treasure. BCTV is a treasure in our community, and it's something that a lot of people don't know a lot about what goes on. But it's all about local power. It's all about getting our voices heard. It's all about doing things that that either have are either hearing our voices, our ideas, and also the BOM of entertainment, and that's BALM, Kira, not BOM, the BOM of entertainment. It's of the people, for the people, and by the people. And that's what public access TV is all about. So it's really wonderful. I also want to say that all of my 55 guests who have been on the show are the show. And I share this award with each one of you. Doug, I forgot to give you a shout out. And Roger Haydock. Oh, and my husband, David Blistein. Right. But that's another story. So I share this with each of you, and I am so glad, and it's been a wonderful year, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you so much.
Okay, that was fantastic, everybody. Great job. Great job. Love the comments. And we have just one more award to do, and that is the People's Choice Award. And thanks for hanging out so long till this point, everybody. Last year, for the first time, we recognized volunteer-produced videos. How is that graphic going to get up there? Oh, you've got it. Okay. Last year, for the first time, we recognized volunteer-produced videos that had the most views over a 12-month period. And again, we're talking about the last fiscal year, which is July to June. And we let the public vote on which one would have the people's choice, just the most popular vote amongst our top viewed videos. And last year, we had about 150 votes. This year, we had 250 votes cast. So it's really got some engagement there. The top viewed videos for the year by volunteers are the parts of the People's Choice. I thought you might also be interested in our other top viewed videos. This includes staff produced. And you can see it's some of the meetings. River Valley USD is not the only popular meeting. We have the Collegiate A Cappella Concert, Guilford Select Board, Brattleboro Retreats Keep Talking, Planning Commission, Landmark College Commencement, Kids Place Tour It Happens in Brattleboro, the Strolling of the Heifers Parade, and Roland's Video Surprise, There's a TV Station in Brattleboro. That gives you an idea of some of the highest viewed videos. I'm going to turn it over to Lynn Barrett, who's back on our board, to roll out the People's Choice Award.
Thank you, Cor. Okay, so the cash prize, what is the cash prize? $100 cash prize for the winner is provided by this year's sponsor, Vermont Films. Is there anybody here from Vermont Films? No, sorry. Here are the nominees for this year's People's Choice Award.
We make the talking drum in the house. We make the tama in home. All my parents would play tama. My grandparents would play tama. The tama is a long, long history of Senegal.
And I think people don't know what's going on in our town in so many different ways, and this is one of them.
It's a great way to find that out. I don't like objectifying it. I don't like saying it's the opioid crisis or that it's poverty or that, I mean, everyone's different.
Overland route. The first train went from Yiwu to London in January of 2017. Trump may think that Xi Jinping is his best friend. Xi Jinping is sure that Trump is his best friend, but for not the normal reasons that you would think a friend should be, and we'll get into that.
And the winner is David Blistein. And Wendy. simple twist of fate. Oh, well. Okay. Thank you so much for this award. This is really a surprise. I'm thrilled to get this award. I am Wendy O'Connell, and I have a show on BCTV called Here We Are, Brattleboro's community talk show. David Blistein happens to be part of that community. Okay, so the backstory on this show. Yes, David did get the highest number of votes in the 2017 year.
Views.
Pardon? Views, sorry. And when I first started the show, he started saying, when can I be on the show? And I said, it's not going to happen. He said, no, really, come on, when am I going to be on the show? You know, and like a couple months later, you know, when can I get on the show? I said, Dave, this is not going to happen. We don't do the nepotism thing. So lo and behold, one day I got a call 15 minutes before we were about to air a show, and the guest had her car had broken down. I knew David was downtown. I called him on the phone and I said, hey honey, here's your chance. So he ran down, literally ran down to the show. And we had no time for prep. Of course, we had 40 years of prep behind us. So we were able to pull it together pretty quickly. Anyway, he did get the highest number of votes. So I am sharing this award, which is People's Choice, and this means so much to me, because I know that what we're doing in these shows is we're broadcasting, you know, in the broadest sense of the word. We're getting our voices out there again, and we're getting people out there again telling their stories, and to me, that's what really brings this community together. So I am very, very happy to get this award as well. Thank you so much.
I want to say a special thank you to all the board members who stepped up and helped MC this awards show. Anybody who's been here in the past years know that Roland used to MC this whole part of the thing. And it was just fantastic. Every single one brought so much presence and richness to the awards ceremony, and I really appreciate that. The other thing is, I have to say that when I told Wendy that this video was nominated, she was like, oh no, not that video. Because, you know, it's her husband. So, so I was like, well, you know, at public access, we're all about fairness, and I really have to stick to what the numbers say. So she was like, oh, okay, God. Anyway, so she was very brave and went through it. And I appreciate everybody who voted. They were all excellent videos, and you know, it's amazing in this world that you can create something and have people find it and share it and watch it, and you really are touching somebody. And even when the numbers are in the hundreds, which doesn't sound like that much, if you picture a room like this with 100 people in it, that's a lot of people. That's what I often say when people are like, well, it only got 30 views. And I think, well, you know, picture 30 people in a room. That's a lot of people listening to you. But anyway, these are much greater magnitude. And unless anybody has a question or a comment, this event is done. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it.